Alright guys, welcome back to another video of Aice International History Studies. Today we're going to be talking about lesson 1.3 and why it was so important. This is more of a short lesson compared to the other ones we're going to be seeing, but this still has so much meaning to why it was very important. So there were reasons for rapid modernization and military development. Japan transformed from an unmodernized medieval-style society into an emerging imperial power due to the threat posed by foreign influence. So they took that and kind of changed it and made it so that they had more power than almost anyone in the world, and this scared other European nations. So then something happened in 1868 called the Meiji Restoration. It centralized government power, modernized infrastructure, and strengthened Japan's military to resist imperial control. So no one can control them, they can control themselves. So there was also Fillmore and Perry's role in opening Japan. The USA, seeking trade and resources, pressured Japan for access to ports, eventually sending Commodore Perry in 1853. Perry threatened military action, leading to Japan's forced acceptance of American trade, demanding and the signing of treaties in 1854 through 1858. So basically, they didn't want to give resources, but Perry, coming in with the U.S., started to threaten them, and they didn't want tensions, so just for that, they opened up their ports and started sending them, resources. Alright, modernization and industrialization. Japan modeled its government, military, and industry on Western nations to preserve independence and strengthen its global position. So they were kind of looking at how Westernized and the European countries were doing what they were doing and kind of copied it in the eastern side of the world and became the power in that side. There were massive investments in its infrastructure and education, boosted by the military power, with 1/3 of the budget allocated to armed forces, which is more than a lot of people are paying. Next was the First Sino-Japanese War in 1894. Japan's military expansion led to conflict over Korea, resulting in a swift Japanese victory against China. As we talked about in 1.2, the Treaty of Shimonoseki granted Japan control of Port Arthur, alarming European powers and leading to the triple intervention by Russia, France, and Germany. Now let's talk about Russian expansion in the Far East. Russia took control of Manchuria by 1900s and alarming Japan, which feared losing its influence in Korea. Britain also viewed Russian expansion as a threat, leading it to reconsider its traditional policy of avoiding different alliances. Then, in 1902, Anglo-Japanese alliance happened. Britain and Japan formed a defensive alliance, agreeing to support each other if any of them ever faced war against multiple opponents. So if it was like a one-on-one between two countries, they wouldn't be able to do anything. But they were outnumbered and had multiple countries trying to take them out, then Japan or Britain would step in and help. The Russo-Japanese War happened from 1 year in 1904 to 05. Russia refused to negotiate, leading Japan to launch a surprise attack on Port Arthur in 1904. Because of this, Japan secured a major victory, including the Battle of Tsushima, forcing Russia to accept defeat in the Treaty of Portsmouth. That's how the Anglo-Japanese alliance helped them, because Britain came in and helped them with resources, etc. Japan's role in the First War. Japan entered World War I in 1914, honoring its alliance with Britain and securing sea lanes in the South Pacific and Indian Ocean against Germany. While European powers were focused on the war, Japan expanded its influence in China by attacking German-controlled territories in Shandong province. So basically, there were economic expansions during World War I. Japan took advantage of Europe's absence to become a major supplier of goods, dramatically increasing its exports of cotton cloth and heavy industry product. The Japanese merchant fleet nearly doubled, supporting trade growth and expanding its shipbuilding by naval, deals. Then there were something called the 21 Demands in 1915. Japan issued demands to China, attempting to secure economic and political control, which sparked international concern. After issuing an ultimatum, China was forced to accept the revised version of the demands. Then there was concerns from Western powers. The USA and Britain became wary of Japan's growing economic and political power, fearing it could disrupt their interest in China. Japan's expansion led to tensions over the open door policy, a principle aimed at keeping the Chinese accessible to all foreign trades, so they weren't closed out. Guys, this was a very interesting topic, and I want to talk to you guys more on 1.4. That's going to be it for the day. Have a good day.